Today we will be talking about pre-writing. Before you begin writing any paper, there are a few things that you must do. First and foremost, you must carefully read and assess the topic. It's crucial that you understand what it is the teacher is asking you to do. Otherwise, your paper will not actually meet the expectations and your grade won't be quite what you're expecting it to be. Let's take a look at this Symbolism in To Kill a Mockingbird paper. The directions say to revisit the list of symbols you created for To Kill a Mockingbird. Then choose one symbol to write a paragraph about. So the first thing we need to take note of is that this is asking for only one symbol, not a list of symbols, not multiple symbols with vague explanations. Instead, we're looking at one symbol that is examined in depth. Then some questions are given to you. What does the symbol symbolize? Okay, pretty clear. You need to explain what the symbol actually symbolizes. Secondly, how do you know that this is symbolic? And the teacher says, do not use the words I, you, we, or us. Instead, write it straightforward. That means that instead of giving your opinion, you're just stating it as fact. Lastly, what is the symbol's overall effect on the novel? So, what is the purpose of this symbol to the novel as a whole? Now, in this particular case, the teacher has given a sample paragraph, which is important to look at. So in this case, in the novel To Kill a Mockingbird, mockingbirds symbolize the innocent people who do not deserve to be ridiculed or harmed by others because they do nothing but help themselves. All right, our first step has been noted. Atticus tells his children that it is a sin to kill a mockingbird, and Miss Maudie further explains, your father's right. Mockingbirds don't do one thing but make music for us to enjoy. They don't eat up people's gardens, they don't nest in corn cribs, they don't do one thing but sing their hearts out for us. Because mockingbirds do no harm to anyone, they do not deserve unjust treatment, just as Tom Robinson, Boo Radley, and Atticus do not deserve the pain the people of Maycomb caused them. Here, it's explaining a couple things. One, what it is this symbol symbolizes, how we know it's symbolic, but also it's starting to apply it to the novel as a whole. If you read the rest of the paragraph, it continues to apply the symbol to the novel as a whole. So yes, this example does meet all the expectations. The next thing you need to do when writing a paper is pre-writing. And there's various ways to pre-write. There's listing, stream of consciousness, and webbing. I'm going to talk primarily about webbing, but briefly explain listing and stream of consciousness. Listing is literally listing ideas. So the prompt that we were just given is to write about one symbol. So the first thing I want to do is write out all the possible symbols I can think of. So I've got the mockingbird, Scout's pants, or her overalls, the red hydrangeas, or red geraniums, I'm sorry. And let's use, let's see, the snowman. Okay, so now I've listed some ideas. Now I need to list under my list. So the snowman, what does it symbolize? Okay, well you've got the white snow and the black mud, and they later blend together, showing unity. Okay, and you're going to do this for all of your examples. What is it symbolizing? How does it symbolize it? Stream of consciousness is writing everything that comes to mind. For instance, symbolism in To Kill a Mockingbird is prevalent, especially the snowman, because of the mixing of white and black. So really this is kind of like writing a rough draft, but it's everything that comes to mind with no interruption. If you get off course, that's fine, because this is just pre-writing. Webbing is the one I'd like to talk about in more detail. When you're webbing, you are going to start with a circle in the middle. And I'm going to put symbolism. Then you're going to just start webbing off ideas. Red geraniums, Scout's overalls, got the snowman and the mockingbird. Now, what you're going to notice about webbing is that it represents more of how the brain thinks, which is in sparks. The brain does not think in lists. And my personal problem with lists is that when you're writing a list, many times you don't leave enough space after an item. So if you have more information to put about it later on, there's no place to put it, and now it doesn't look all nice and neat. And for those A-type learners, they really need that neatness. This is definitely more for the artistically thoughtful people. However, I have seen some very analytically designed webs that are gorgeous. So here's how you do this webbing. I'm going to go with the snowman. Well, we've got the white snow, and that represents the whites of Maycomb. I've got the black mud, representing the blacks of Maycomb. And they have to be used together because there's not enough snow to make a snowman on its own. So the mud and snow need each other. Okay, well, just as the blacks and whites of Maycomb need each other. They don't realize it yet. Just like in the snowman that Jem makes, the core is black and the outside is white. It's separated. However, when the weather starts to warm up, what happens to the snow and the mud? They melt together and they blend into one. Okay, so snow and mud mix when snow melts, or when weather gets warmer. And this is creating the unity. Okay, now I want to think for a minute about the mockingbird and how it represents innocence. Okay, wait, I have another thought on the snowman now, and I can add it in here. Okay, how some people really appreciate the snowman, yet others don't. Okay, some appreciate, some don't. Also, Atticus is really impressed by Jem's ability to come up with the solution to not having enough snow, which is using the mud in the middle as the core. Well, this is also representing Atticus's thrill over the fact that Jem is able to see people as people rather as people as blacks and whites. So Atticus's pride in Jem. All right, so you can see here how the web really does allow for a lot of ideas to be formulated. Those of you who are more artistic, the web also allows for drawing. Okay, some people just think better when they draw. So I could draw a snowman here. I can draw overalls, although I don't know that Mrs. Cook actually knows how to draw overalls. Okay, good enough, right? So here you can use your artistic abilities in order to help you pre-write. So what we will be doing tomorrow in class is we will begin pre-writing on your To Kill a Mockingbird paragraph. And you can use listing, you can use stream of consciousness, but everyone must try webbing. One other thing with pre-writing is organizing these ideas, taking them from this very unlinear structure and making it linear. Well, I've now decided I'm going to use my snowman as my main topic because they just have so much information on it. And I'm going to create a new web, and this is like an outline. I'm going to put snowman up here. This is my main idea or thesis. Then I'm going to create my main points for this paragraph on the snowman. In this case, I'm only going to have 2 main points, but I can have 3. Okay. Then, under each main point, I will have my support to prove it. And you must have 2 supports at least. So my first main point is the black and white snow, or the black mud and white snow equal the blacks and whites. And now I need to support that information. Well, they are separated just as they are in Maycomb. Then I'll come up with my second support and fill it in here. When I'm finished, I have my outline. I have my thesis, main point, support, support, main point, support, support. So this is how we are going to be organizing our papers from one web to another. I hope this helps you in the pre-writing of your paper, and I look forward to working with you.